So some of the pros of rammed earth are that it has excellent thermal mass. Thermal mass performs well in especially like arid conditions where you have a big difference between nighttime temperatures and daytime temperatures. Rammed earth can be permittable. Like you can get permits in a lot of places to build a rammed earth building, which is not always the case with naturally built wall systems. For some places that that don't have quite such swings in temperature, you might need to add some insulative material on the outside of the rammed earth wall. A great thing about rammed earth is that it primarily uses on-site soil, which is like, as far as looking for a truly ecological wall system, like not having to move materials around is a really big deal. And it also can save your back. And you might probably have some sort of machine that's helping you move the dirt. And as you're excavating the dirt, like it can be a con, like having these giant holes in your property in the land, but you might be able to build like a recessed greenhouse or something like that. So there can be great things to holes in the ground. The materials for rammed earth are pretty cheap. Like the machinery can get a little expensive and the labor can get really expensive, but the materials themselves are really cheap. Rammed earth lasts a very long time. Like I said, the Great Wall of China, at least a good chunk of it is rammed earth, and the Great Wall of China still exists. It's been around for a long time. It's pretty amazing. Rammed earth, I think, is cool looking. So that's a pro. They're pretty nice thick walls, and so that gives like this recessed windows from the inside and the outside, which I think is just beautiful. If you ever read A Pattern Language, he has a lot to say about recessed windows. It lasts a very long time. It's pretty easy to work with. Like if you learn how to do the technique of rammed earth, you can work your way up relatively easily. And it is fireproof, which is a really important thing. Like when you look at like what buildings stand the test of time, whether a building is fireproof or not can make a really big difference. So cons are, the rammed earth part of the wall anyway is not insulative. So for places where you would prefer to have an insulated wall system, it's just not insulative. It's expensive if you're not doing it yourself. So if you're the one who's digging up the dirt or running the machine to dig up the dirt, and you're the one packing or running the machine to pack the dirt into that system or to make blocks, then it's really pretty cheap. But if you're hiring someone, the labor gets pretty crazy. So don't think that, and that's the same thing with most of these naturally built wall systems, like they're labor intensive. And so if you're hiring the labor, the cost just goes really pretty crazy. Or if you're trying to pay yourself, the cost would be pretty crazy. With the way that the forms are and the forces that are imposed upon the forms, it's really hard to make a rammed earth structure into a curve. Like it's hard to have curved walls. And so for some people that's fine. I mean, we mostly live in rectangular buildings and dwellings, but some people really like their natural buildings to have roundness and natural form, and that's just not possible with rammed earth. And it doesn't work with all soil. So you have to see if your site is suitable, if the soil is suitable to be part of rammed earth, if you're going to use the soil on site. If you're using CEBs, then you don't necessarily, which is compressed earth block, then you don't necessarily need the soil on your site to be compatible. You just need the soil that's being used to make the blocks. You need that to be compatible. So again, the pros: thermal mass, you can get permits, it can use on-site soil, the materials are relatively inexpensive, it lasts a very long time, it's cool looking, it's relatively easy to work with, and it's fireproof. And the cons are rammed earth is not insulative, it's expensive if you're hiring labor, and there's a lot of labor involved if you're the one doing the labor, and it's hard to make it round, and it doesn't work with all soil.